fiercely pursuing accountability on policy and implementation. It's time for another DJL7 candidate interview.
Yo, what's up? It's your boy DJL7. As you know, I'm interviewing pretty much every candidate running for, a national position, and we have one of the candidates here today. But I'm gonna let him introduce himself. Go ahead.
Hello, everybody in the world, in America, Alaska. My name is Huhnkie Lee. I'm running for the United States Senate as an independent Alaskan in this year, 2022. So nice to meet you. And my name is Huhnkie Lee. I'm running for the United States Senate as an independent Alaskan in this year, 2022.
Appreciate that, man. All right, so first question is, can you tell me, is there a specific reason why you're running?
Well, the thing is, there are good politicians, not so good politicians, but when I see them in the news, like you see Donald J. Trump, Joseph Biden, Barack Obama, I think I can do better than they are doing and they have done. And I think they're just too busy with whatever dumb things that they do. They're not solving any problems. And I have science and engineering background. I used to be a computer programmer. I'm trained as a problem solver. So I want to solve problems in the world and Alaska, America. Yeah, that's why I'm running.
Okay, so you said that you did computer science and engineering. Would that be electrical engineering? Mechanical engineering?
Software engineering is like a softcore computer programming.
Okay. Software engineering is considered, a branch of that engineering, so that's cool. And would you say that's your core competence, or what relevant experiences or background do you have to make you qualified to be running for, you said you're running for Senate?
Yeah, U.S. Senate in Alaska.
Okay, yeah. So
Yes.
what relevant experience and competencies do you have that are relevant to being a senator?
So I have very diverse background. I was trained as a computer programmer.
Okay.
Now I'm a lawyer.
Oh, really? Okay.
So I passed the Alaska bar exam. I'm a lawyer.
Congratulations.
And thank you.
What field of law do you practice in?
I'm an ambulance chaser, meaning like personal injury, workers' compensation. Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I do.
All right.
And also, I was trained as an actor, writer, director. I used to live in Los Angeles, California.
Yeah, you have a very artistic way about you. I've been following you on Instagram, things like that. It's a very different experience. It's a very kind of like artistic experience. It's not a typical, I could tell you're an artist, 100%.
Thank you.
No doubt.
Yeah, I'm also a writer. I write novels, essays. So I have very diverse background. I also study foreign languages. And I know many different languages in the world. And I'm not those typical politicians. Again, there are good politicians, bad politicians, but I have a very diverse background. I have studied history, economics, philosophy, political science, all those things. So
Okay.
I think that's my qualification.
It's cool that you studied stuff, but let's get to actual accomplishments. So what relevant, right? Sometimes when people say, "What's your best accomplishment?" They're like, "Oh, my kids." I'm like, "How does that tell me whether you're a good senator or not?" It really doesn't, right? So whatever answers like that, please put those aside, right? What relevant accomplishment are you most proud of achieving?
In YouTube, I uploaded this movie I made. It's called A Therapy for Metaphobia. It's in YouTube for free for everybody. And I made that movie when I was in Los Angeles, California, back in between 2006 and 2009. So I made it. It's a feature length, 70 minutes, 1 hour and 10 minutes movie. I made it all by myself in Mojave Desert. I would say that's one of my accomplishments.
Okay.
And also academically, I have written many academic papers which are published in Social Science Research Network and also vixra.org. Also, I write a lot of essays in medium.com. So, one of the things I have written in vixra.org is an online database for science community. I believe I disproved Mr. Albert Einstein's special and general relativity theories.
Okay. How did you disprove that?
Uh,
That's a
in
bold claim.
Vixra, okay, Vixra.org, Vixra, Vixra.org. If you type Vixra space Huhnkie, Huhnki, you will find those papers. So Mr. Albert Einstein's special and general relativity theories, uh, I I think I disproved his theories, logical and scientific and mathematical fashion.
Okay, that's cool. All right, so at some point, I guess we'll get to look into that. But just I'm a science person myself. Maybe you can give. Is there a quick answer for that? Like, did you use maybe quantum, like say like the mass can't be really determined exactly where it is because of everything's moving in a wave fashion. So are you using that argument, or how are you actually attacking the theory of relativity? I'm just interested just for intellectual
Okay,
purposes.
so Mr. Albert Einstein started his theory of special relativity by saying that the speed of light is absolute,
Okay.
and that's his assumption. And let's say you have two photons going the opposite way.
Okay.
You have two flashlights
Right.
going to the right, going to the left, and the relative speed of the, let's say right, yeah, Republican photon and left Democratic Party photon, okay?
Okay.
You have Republican photon and Democrat photon, okay? And they're going the opposite direction, and the relative speed of the Republican Party photon going right and the Democrat
Yeah.
photon going to the left, the relative speed will be 2 times of the photon speed, light speed.
Yeah. Compared to each other. Yeah. To each other. Yeah. Okay. I could buy that.
Yeah,
Anything
so
else? Okay.
that's the basic argument that speed of light is relative and it's not absolute.
Well, okay. That's like a relative position. Okay. So. Okay. Maybe I. Okay. Well. All right. That's cool. All right. Let's move on to you know, some. I'm not here to really discuss the. I could, but I'm gonna bounce off into some of my political partners over here. So I'm gonna ask about some positions that you might support. Would you support freeing Julian Assange?
Can you explain what that is?
Sure. Okay. You ever heard something called WikiLeaks? WikiLeaks.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. Julian Assange is associated with WikiLeaks. When I say WikiLeaks, does it sound familiar now?
Yeah.
Okay. Now Julian Assange is in jail right now. Right. Here's actually
Yeah.
here's a picture right here of Assange right here. Yeah. Anyways, yeah. So Assange he's jailed because he actually released some data and about the wrong people, and he's in jail right now. So usually people, once they say they support freeing Assange, what it really means is that they support free speech. They support the right to know, things like that. So it's just would you support freeing Julian Assange? You know who he is?
Yeah, Mr. Julian Assange, I guess, yeah, WikiLeaks, yes. Some goods and bads, but like everybody else, like Trump, Biden, Obama, yeah, goods and bads. And I do appreciate the kind of contribution that he made. I do. And but what I would do if I become U.S. Senator, U.S. President, there will be full transparency. I don't believe in secrets. I think government should be open.
Yeah.
So in philosophy, I do agree with Mr. Julian Assange. Yes.
Appreciate that. Okay. The second question is, being an Asian brother, right? Maybe you were paying attention to the presidential election, maybe not, right? But there was a guy named Andrew Yang who talked about something called UBI. So, UBI, Universal Basic Income, would that be a policy that you might support or not support? Or I don't know. You have thoughts on that?
Mr. Andy Yang.
Not Andrew Yang himself, right? Let's put him on the side, right? But he brought up something, he reignited discussion about something called UBI. Not Andrew Yang's UBI, right? Don't even forget about that, yeah? But just UBI in general, Universal Basic Income. How do you feel about, right? Actually, you guys have an existing UBI in Alaska, which is interesting, right? So
Yeah,
it's pretty popular. Yeah, and it's often cited. So what do you think about, UBI? Do you support UBI?
So yeah, in Alaska, we get permanent fund dividend, PFD, is
Yeah.
oil and gas business tax, and Alaskan, every single Alaskan, no matter what age they are, we get like about $1,000 per year.
Okay, so you like that, or would you support
I like
programs
it.
like that?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Who wouldn't, right? Okay. The
Yeah.
next question is, okay, so people with disabilities right now, they're actually be allowed to be paid sub minimum wage. Now, if we think about it, minimum wage is kind of like a subsistence wage. They could barely pay rent and like eat food, like it's close to the poverty line, right? So, would you, right? People with disabilities now, I went to a hearing in Albany where we were talking about this issue, and some people might say that people with disabilities have lower productivity, right? But if we look at minimum wage, it's almost like a subsistence wage. How about making that up for them with, I don't know, subsidies or just finding a way? But can we actually provide minimum wage for those with disabilities?
Yeah, I do support social welfare, yeah, disability, social welfare program. I do, yeah, social security and Medicare, Medicaid. I do support that, but in order to support that, we have to make a lot of money,
Okay.
right? So I'm kind of politician where I support in Alaska Pebble Mine, like the $500 billion worth of gold, copper, molybdenum, and NWA oil and gas. In Alaska, we have a lot of coal. We have clean
Hmm.
coal technology.
You do, but then
So
the environmentalist is gonna freak out, right?
yeah, I can convince them. I think I can persuade them. There's nothing to worry about. Okay, we can develop all those things environmentally soundly. We have to make a lot of money, and then we want to help our poor people.
Okay. Mining things. Okay. Well, it's good to know your plans, right? So let's move on to. So you do support minimum wage for people with disabilities,
Oh
correct?
yeah,
Okay.
yes, yes.
So the last, no, another question would be, okay. So if we think about people who are transvestites, trans community, right?
Hmm.
The thing is that a lot of times they're discriminated against at the job. They're discriminated against, and it leads to poverty. And they may be trying to move into something public housing. Now, if they try to get into public housing, we may find, for instance, that 10% of the right. This is just made up numbers, right? But let's present that 10% of people applying for public housing are trans. And then when we look at the percentage of people that are actually in public housing, for some reason we see that only 2% of the people are in public housing are trans. So we try to find the reason for discrepancy. Some people say, "Oh, I didn't get in because they discriminate." Other people say, "You know what? I got beat up when I was in the housing, and I didn't feel like staying, so I left." So even though there's no law saying that you can discriminate against trans people, right? They still find that they are facing discrimination. What can you do to help these people, right? Even though there's no law saying, right? You pass laws, right? But these people are still getting hosed. How can you help them?
So when it comes to LGBT ideology, I am against LGBT ideology,
Oh,
but
okay.
I am against LGBT ideology,
Interesting.
but
Okay.
I love people who are in who are trapped by LGBT ideology. I want to save them,
Okay.
help them out so that they become straight.
Okay.
I understand this very difficult position nowadays, but
Yes.
yeah, I am against LGBT ideology, but I want to help them out. I'm against discrimination. Yeah, we should embrace them, respect them,
Right.
no matter what their ideology is.
Yeah. So even
And
right. Once again, right. The question wasn't well. I'm glad to know that, right? I'm sure a lot of the voters out there will be glad to know that that about you. But remember, once again, right, you said about the discrimination, and this is a question of them being able to access public housing, right? For some reason, we see the discrepancy in their ability to access it, and that just so what could we do to right? Whether you agree with them or not, right? Like they still have a right to the housing, right? They're public and they pay
oh yeah,
taxes.
yeah.
So how are we going to take care of them and make sure they get fair access?
Well, legislation is just one solution. Okay, there are other solutions.
Okay.
Like if I become U.S. senator, or I'm also running for U.S. president in 2024. Okay, 2022 I'm running for U.S. Senate. But yeah, legislation is just one solution. There are other solutions, and I will talk to people in public, like right here, right now.
Right.
Yeah, we should be inclusive.
Okay.
We should be understanding and tolerant, no matter what their ideology is.
Let me
Man, we
let me
should never.
shoot you a couple possible solutions here, and it also helps us to see a little bit more of understand like your approach. So remember before I said 2%, 10%, that type of thing, right? So that I don't know if you've ever heard of the idea of quotas, right? But this question can kind of ask you, would you believe in a quota-based solution? Some people might say, for example, right, that let's take the people that are trans and if they're getting beat up, let's give them their own housing, right? Let's make a special housing for them. But then people could call that ghettoization, right? If we took all the black people and just put them into one part of the community, that would seem also right problematic. So we can see that to develop a solution for this is complex. Oh, you said you would contact other people, but how do you feel about quotas in general, as in terms of like approaching problems like this, right? 10%, 2%. Some people are against that, right? Or some people have different modified versions. What do you think about that whole approach to this problem?
So that's very mathematical, like formula based, like
You're
quota
a
system.
computer software engineer, right? But I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think? There's multiple styles.
Yeah, it's a percentage, like 10%, 2%, right? So yeah, I mean that's very realistic solution, but my approach would be more about like a pastor, preacher,
Okay,
church. We want to transform the way people think and feel,
I agree.
so that we want to change their soul. I'm a Christian myself, okay? So
Me too.
we want to save people's souls so that
They
guys
want to
and
do the right
girls,
thing. They want to do the
yeah,
right
just
thing, right?
just do the
So,
right thing. Yes,
yeah,
yes.
because yeah, it's hard to make people follow the laws if they'll find a way around it. So that's a
Yes,
good idea.
yes.
Okay. So another thing is, have you ever heard of something called right to repair?
Reparation?
No, right to repair.
No.
Okay. So the thing is that nowadays you see like cell phones, for example, like Macs, like iMacs, the cell phones, right?
Yes,
iPhones.
yes,
They make it
yes.
so it's difficult to repair. In fact,
Mm-hmm.
they've consistently made it so you can't repair. You have to go to a factory authorized dealer. And there's been plenty of evidence that when they say that they're going to fix it, right, they actually just tell you to buy a new one. They say, we can't fix it. You have to buy a new one. So it's a way for them to generate sales. By the way, I don't know
Yes.
if you've ever seen at McDonald's how the ice cream machine's never working because they have a predatory. There's another company that came in and gave them a predatory contract that says that they have to charge like $10,000, some ridiculous amount, just to fix the ice cream machine. So nobody wants to fix it, you know? So,
Yeah.
yeah. So, I think the farmers actually they can't fix their tractors, and actually this also impacted the U.S. military. Biden actually passed an executive order saying that the military needs to have the right to repair their vehicles and not just give the these other companies exclusive rights to repair the machines. But some companies are fighting back. But would you support the right to repair
Oh
your
yeah,
vehicles?
absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's also a
Yeah,
question
I
of
don't like.
ownership, right? Do you actually own your device, or are you just renting the device? Does it actually belong to Apple?
Yeah, I mean, my cell phone is Motorola. I
Okay.
don't have any Macintosh because they are too proprietary. Yeah, too exclusive. I fully support 100% right to repair.
Now I'm going to ask you some questions about some general positions. So, the first of all, we can see that we have a growing wealth gap in this country. Do you have any plans to help address that?
Would you say one more time, please?
No problem. Well, okay, so I'm going to start from the beginning, okay? So, all right, so now I've finished asking the questions about for my partners, and thank you so much for that. Now I'm going to ask some questions regarding some just general positions that people may be interested. Now, one of them is the growing wealth gap in this country. We can take a look at some people are getting richer and poor people are getting poorer. Do you have any plans to address that or ideas?
Yeah, so yeah, in Alaska, we have PFD, permanent fund dividend, it's oil and gas tax, it's business tax. So basically, every single Alaskan, no matter what age they are, every year we get like $1,000.
Sure.
And so it's kind of very much kind of like socialism, communism kind of concept, redistribution of wealth. Yeah, we are
Okay.
taking money off of the oil and gas industry and give out to everybody. And I think it's still a good idea. I think it's good. Uh,
Okay.
Even Republicans
Okay.
support that idea of PFD. The
Yeah.
Alaskan Republicans, they love PFD. Okay, so we just need to make a lot of money,
Okay.
create jobs. I have many ideas about that. Okay, like bear, we have bears in Alaska,
Okay.
grizzly bears, we have black bears, white bear, brown bear,
Okay.
all three different races like almost like white people, black people, brown people. Okay, we're black bear, white bear, brown
Okay.
bear. Okay, and we can farm them, and we can snatch the baby bears and sell them, rent them out as a pet, like baby
Okay.
bear. Okay, teddy bear. Yeah, we can make a lot of money off of baby bear farming,
And then
bear
people. Okay.
fur.
But what happens, right? The thing is, they go to a certain age, then they're no longer good for pets. So what happens then?
Then we take them back
Okay.
and let them reproduce. Let them
Okay.
male bear, female bear continue to produce baby bears and rent them out and take them back
And then make rugs
and
or
bear
something.
farming.
Make bear rugs or something then.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, bear meat. Yeah, I mean, if some people want to eat bear meat, but you have to be fully cooked because bear have a lot of parasites. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so we can make a lot of money, and then we can help out the poor people.
Okay. That's cool. All right, you got some pretty different ideas, I would say, right? I think a lot of people would recognize that. There's nothing wrong with that,
Mhm.
right? So it's good
Yeah,
to
I
know.
want to
We
help out
wanna
poor
understand,
people. Yes.
yeah, where you stand,
Yeah.
right? So let's move on to okay. So there's a lot of different. We take a look at federal spending, right? As Senate, you'd be in charge of federal spending, and there's programs such as Social Security, Medicare, welfare, right? Those are some of our largest spending. And I think that you said your real plan is to make more money to pay for these, these
Yes.
jobs and these other ideas, right? Okay.
Mhm.
So I guess do you have any? So let's move on to the next one. Okay? So criminal reform, we saw that like in the states, right? 48 states, it was like a lot more. Hopefully, Alaska has less problems than this, but Black Lives Matter, things like that, right? Multiple riots going on throughout the summer. What are your thoughts on criminal reform?
I believe in the idea where criminals, yeah, we label them as criminals, but hey, we will make mistakes. And yeah, some others make bigger mistakes like rape, murder, theft. We are very sorry, but as a Christian, I don't judge them because Jesus said, "Yeah, judge ye not, lest you be judged." Right? It's a golden rule, right? So, uh, we want to educate them and teach them how to be happy legally. Okay, you don't have to take drugs. You don't have to rape, murder. No, there are other legal ways, legitimate ways, moral, ethical ways to be happy, and they need to learn how to work, and we need to discipline them. Okay, so
Hmm.
prison, I think they should be working because in Alaska we have a lot of violent crimes in Alaska, and sometimes some Alaskans commit crimes in order to get shelter in the winter,
Right.
to get warm housing, food, dinner. And in prison system, they don't work. They just sit there and do nothing. Okay. And if I'm U.S. president or U.S. senator, I write. I mean, as a U.S. senator, if I become a senator, I write bills. Yeah, you cannot just sit there in prison. You
That's a
have to
little
work.
okay. That's a little strange because, like, a lot of prison systems make money off of off of the prisoners by making them work in different industries, right? Or a lot of times they'll have, in order to keep the cost of the prison down, they'll have the prisoners do like the laundry or things like that, right? Making the food. So, are you sure, right? Are you sure that they're? Because I think maybe some of them are like difficult to keep working, but most prisons have jobs for the. I mean, maybe it's true, right? Yeah, but it sounds pretty wild. You sure? Some of them, right? Some of them they don't work, right? That's true, but usually at least some of the population's working, right? Taking care of the prison somehow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is Army badge right here. Army Republican. I used to be in the U.S. Army
Oh, okay. Cool.
as a junior enlisted soldier back in 2009. So
What made you
in
join the army,
basic,
by the way? What made you join the army?
I wanted to have some fun
Some fun. Okay.
because I used to be a computer programmer. Too much brain work. I need some brain work. So physical labor. Yeah, to give some break to my brain because I've
Okay.
been doing computer programming a long time. So yeah, I joined the U.S. Army as junior enlisted soldier, E4 specialist, and when I was in U.S. Army 2009,
Yeah, you come
for
up.
banning.
So you went to officer school quick because you had a college degree, right? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, but I didn't go to officer school.
Oh
I
no.
did not. No,
Okay.
I did.
So you just
Yeah,
became
just
you became a regular grunt, but you exceeded. You went to level 4 just through your work in the field.
yeah, just regular army, not officer level.
Why didn't
And
you? Why wouldn't
so
you become an officer? Because you wanted to do the brawn work, I guess. You wanted
yeah, brawn work, not brain,
Okay.
something different. And so when I was trained in Fort Benning, Georgia, Columbus, Georgia, Fort Benning, then Fort Gordon, Georgia, and Augusta, Georgia. Yeah, we cleaned the bathroom, sweep the floor, mop the floor, and we did push-ups and sit-ups, 2 mile runs, calisthenic. Okay, so that I think that's what prisoners should be doing. They should be working,
more military style.
push-ups, yeah, sit-ups, and we'll
Oh, they
teach
do have
them how to
push-ups.
dance, how to sing,
Okay.
and yeah, teach them how to work, teach them how to have fun, legal, moral, ethical way.
That's interesting. Okay, I'm glad to know that your plans for that. Okay, let's move on to the idea of, um, we take a look at. Okay, so one thing that's interesting that it said that you joined the army because actually I believe that you told me that you're Korean. Am I correct?
Yeah, I
I'm
was
Korean as well.
born in.
Yeah, I'm
Uh,
ethnically Korean, but I was born here. Like, what? You were born in South Korea, I believe, and you came here in '77.
well, I was born in Ithaca, New York.
Oh, you were born in Ithaca. Okay, so you're born in
Ithaca,
the
New
United
York.
States. Okay.
Yeah, 1978.
Oh, '78. Okay.
Yeah, and then but because my father came to Cornell University, Ithaca, New York, Cornell, to study economics, PhD.
Okay.
And I was born there, and when I was 3 months old, baby, he finished his PhD. So my family moved back to South Korea. I grew up there until 1997 when I graduated high school in South Korea. Then I came back to America, Madison, Wisconsin, majoring in computer science. That was like
Interesting.
2004. Yeah.
Okay, so like a lot of people in Korea, they have to go into the military, right? So it's interesting that you came, and sometimes people they don't want to do it, or the reason, right? But you finished your time in Korea, right, and decided to come here. You decided to join the U.S. military. That's
Mhm.
interesting, right? A lot of people in Korea actually try to duck the military and come to the U.S. to get away from that, right? But so that's just
Mhm.
interesting. But coming from that background and right, growing up in Korea, a lot of times, right, being Korean American myself, I
Mhm.
grew up watching the Olympics, right? Olympics in Korea, and that was a very defining moment in my life, seeing the Koreans hold up those signs saying "Yankee, go home." So I was like, What I thought the U.S. were the good guys. What's going on? And then my parents told me about about the problems. I'm sure you know about them having grown up in Korea, right? I could go into more detail, but the fact of the matter is that some, U.S. and Russia came in and said, you know what, we want to have this Cold War. We're just going to draw this random line, and your neighbor, right, your brother and sisters across this river or across this line, all of a sudden they're your enemy. It's like, what? So they were unhappy about it, and that makes a lot of sense. So with this idea of war and imperialism and stuff like that, right? You take a look at this thing going on between Russia and Ukraine. What's your position on that whole thing and U.S. intervention in wars? What's your thought on that?
So United States of America interventionism, yeah, there's some goods and bads, like Nicaragua, Cuba, and Iran. Yeah, America political history when it comes to international interventionism, it has some bad records. Like it started with Eisenhower, and then continued with Reagan and Bush. And until now, yeah, American interventionism has some bad history. Yeah, I did study that. But when it comes to South Korea, I think it was successful because
That's
I
debated.
mean, no, yeah, North Korea backed by Russia and China back in 1950 Korean War, they were invading South Korea,
Yeah,
and General MacArthur
yeah.
of United States and American soldiers, they sacrificed their lives for the freedom of South Koreans, and I'm very grateful. I'm indebted. and
Yeah,
maybe
I
I'm
get that, yeah.
alive
Yeah.
because of the American sacrifices.
I get that. Yeah, I get that. It's a mixed bag, right? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's a mixed bag, right? So honestly, if Russia and U.S. just stayed out of Korea, probably would have been for the best, right? But considering that both powers, right, are trying to make their play, yeah, I get it. Yeah. So, but what about the Russia-Ukrainian thing? Like, that's right. Is that something we should get involved in? Not involved in? Right? What do you think about that?
So President Joe Biden, I appreciate him. Uh, Again, I'm independent. I'm not Democrat. I'm not Republican. So President Biden, former President Trump, Obama,
Sure.
I see goods and bads in those people. People are people, right?
Me too. Yeah.
So yeah, President Biden, I appreciate him taking the middle course where so impose some sanctions, but not military wise. Don't get involved with military wise, but some sanctions. Yeah, he's taking the middle course. But if I were the president right now of the United States, I will have no sanctions against Russia. Okay.
Yeah.
I love Ukraine. I love Russia.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm very sorry President Vladimir Putin invaded Ukraine. I'm very sorry about that. I apologize on his behalf. But it happened, okay? So President Zelensky of Ukraine, uh, in my opinion, he should have surrendered
Okay.
so that nobody dies.
Okay. That's a
But
decent position. Okay. Good to know.
because Mr. Zelensky, he's like, oh, I'm gonna fight. Yeah, Ukrainians, let's fight Russians. That's a lemming leader. It's like group suicide because Ukraine cannot win this war against Russia. That's just you cannot win. If you cannot win, at least surrender peacefully and save your lives. I do not think freedom, democracy is a worthwhile cause to die for.
That's a very interesting. This is the last thing I'm going to say on the topic, but it's very interesting for you to say that when Koreans have maintained their ethnic identity from China for over 2,000 years. So, you know what I mean? Like, Koreans themselves almost have it in our blood to remain independent in some ways. You know, right? You get what I'm saying? Out of all
Yeah.
the people, millions that got absorbed by China, Korea and Vietnam stayed independent throughout China, throughout U.S. Right? They couldn't really take that from us. We want our kimchi. We want to say our anadul sen there. Right? We don't want to go ili samsa. Yeah, we want to use our own Korean style and that numbers and stuff. We have our own traditional way, very strong, right? So maybe, right? I get what you're saying too, though, right? If it's a hopeless battle,
Hey,
I'm
but
about those hopeless battles. So go ahead.
I mean,
Yeah, as an independent, you facing off against a duopoly that's very powerful, right? A lot of people say just give in and join the Democrats, Republicans, but you decide to stay independent, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing is, Korean history, okay?
Mhm.
I mean, I grew up in South Korea for nearly 2 decades, so I know a lot about Korean history.
Yeah,
So Korea have been colonized by
China,
China,
Japan.
Mongolia,
Yeah.
Genghis Khan,
Yeah.
also by Japan.
Oh, yeah, that was. Wow. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was bad. That was brutal.
Yeah, so India was colonized by British Empire.
Mm-hmm.
But Mahatma Gandhi freed India from British Empire
Right.
without using a single bullet.
Yeah, in some ways, yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
The
so
non-violent, right? Yeah. But then
yeah,
afterwards, it erupted chaos and he was assassinated. But yeah, you're right. Yeah, I am a non-violent protest type of guy. I do follow his style.
Hmm?
Yeah.
so
Cool, man.
even if Russia colonized Ukraine,
Right.
Ukraine can get their country back later on peacefully.
That's okay. So that's actually a great segue to my next question over here, right? In this new day and age, and it's actually cool that you're a software engineer, right? We see internet censorship. We see big tech controlling a lot of our stuff on YouTube, right? Which is basically what everybody uses, right? It's almost universal, but there's a lot of like algorithm control and things like that. Big tech, right? Controlling what we can see, how we can interact. What's your plans to address that type of thing? What's your position on that?
Yeah, so I'm in YouTube, blogger, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, also TikTok. and they have this community guideline, and there's some goods and bads there. I mean, sometimes they over censorship. Sometimes I made a lot of mistakes in those social media. I said words that I should not have said, and so YouTube came to me, Google YouTube. Hey, Mr. Hunkily, you cannot say those things, okay? I was like, oh yeah, hey, thank you for correcting me. My bad. Yeah, my mouth was dirty. I will brush my teeth twice a day. I stopped saying bad words. So thank you, Google YouTube. Okay, so yeah, but some other times, yeah, like LinkedIn, they they got rid of my account. Okay, so I was like,
Okay.
yeah, that's too harsh. Okay,
Okay. Well.
yeah, we need some balancing act.
Yeah. Okay. So appreciate that, right? I do also feel like the big tech companies have too much control over what we get to see and how, and honestly, it affects how we think, right? It's actually affecting our ability to focus on things, right? This attention-based, algorithms that are out there. So it's definitely a big issue. A lot of people in America, they have a lot of disbelief. They've lost their faith in the institutions. So let's talk about like education, right? Do you have any plans for educational reform? We take a look at student debt. We take a look at our schools are performing at low levels versus our spending. How can you help solve this type of situation?
Yeah, so uh, I consider myself as an educator first, politician second. Okay, in social media, I deal with a lot of young people. They're beautiful. They're very smart people, and I encourage them to focus on education and not dating.
Okay.
They're too young to date. You have this problem of abortion, unwanted pregnancy. Yeah, stop dating. Okay, just focus on school and develop your career.
Yeah.
I tell them all the time, okay? In social media, I also deal with minors, people who are under 18 years old all the time, okay?
Okay.
So, yeah, I encourage them to learn foreign languages, mathematics, science, history, literature, arts, music. And so if I become US Senator, US President, I will get to speak to the people on television. Okay, and people will pay attention to what I have to say. So young people, if you're under 25 years old, you should not be even dating. Okay,
Mm.
you should be abstinent, you should be celibate. Yeah, keep your virginity until you're 25. After you graduate from colleges, you get high-paying job, then you have extra income, some disposable income, then you can get married and have kids because raising children is very expensive.
Interesting. Okay, appreciate that. What about the medical system, right? We take a look at the COVID response. You got Fauci lying his ass off. We got a high once again we got a high level of spending in the medical system, and a low amount of returns and low amount of outcomes for actually people. Actually, the worst outcomes out of developed nations in the world, right? It's pretty freaking sad. Got any ideas about how to fix that?
Yeah, I'm a problem solver. I was trained as a computer programmer, IT tech, information technology, yeah, troubleshooter. So I'm trained as a problem solver,
Okay.
unlike some other politicians. So the solution for medical system is this, okay? A diet, healthy diet, and regular exercise.
Okay. Healthy
I
diet and
talk
regular
about,
exercise. Got you.
yeah, if you have a healthy body, yeah, you have a healthy immune system. So you don't need any vaccine or masking. No, you just diet, exercise. You do push-up, sit-up, run, practice martial arts, and then you can fight off. Your body will take care of itself. Antibody system, immune
You
system.
do taekwondo?
Yeah.
Cool. Cool. All right. Hwarangdo? Or you do a tang sudo or any of those hapkido anythings? All of them?
Uh,
Mainly
yeah. I
taekwondo.
do taekwondo.
Okay.
Yeah, hwarangdo, hapkido.
Oh, you do
I
that?
just a little bit. I'm
Yeah,
not good at
sometimes
it.
throwing. That's cool. Okay. Congratulations,
Yeah.
man. That's cool.
So
You got a good body type for it. Yeah, I could see. Right, long limb. Yeah, so it's good
yeah.
for good for
So
that stuff. Good.
if you yeah also dancing is a very good exercise. I talk about this exercise diet to my friends all the time because it's economics, okay? So my father is an economist. I learned great deal from my father about economics.
Okay.
If we do diet and exercise, we are healthy. We don't need to see doctors. It will keep the medical cost low because
Okay.
supply and demand, okay?
All right.
Nobody gets sick because we are healthy, diet and exercise. So doctors will not be busy. It will
Yeah.
drive down the medical cost.
Now, it might not be the majority of our population, right? But the thing is that there are some people with, like, astronomically high medical bills, people with terminal conditions, chronic conditions. Um, you know, sometimes for them, right, maybe they have severe diabetes or cancer, right? For them, right, working out might help them some, right? Sometimes it's really kind of like going towards the end. You got anything for people in like medical debt or the COVID regulations, restrictions? What are your thoughts on those issues?
So again, if we make a lot of money, we can farm bears, we can farm elephants and sell their elephant, this ivory tusk.
Tigers,
Tigers, we can farm
very
tigers.
popular, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, baby tigers, baby
Mm-hmm.
lions.
Yeah.
We
Oh,
can farm all the animals. We have modern technology, reproductive technology. If you don't want to reproduce, if in the zoo, let's say we have lions and they don't want to mate, no problem. We have reproductive technology, okay? Sperm and egg,
okay.
artificial insemination. Yeah, we have that technology, okay? So
Wow.
we make a lot of money
Mm-hmm.
and then free healthcare for all, free education for all. We can do that stuff. I'm all for it.
Okay. Cool. What about the environment? I love Alaska. It's like a very known as a kind of like a naturalist paradise. I've always wanted to visit. Tell you the truth. What is climate change is going on? What thoughts do you have on fighting those? Taking care of our environment.
Thank you for asking that question, sir. And climate change is a matter of science and also matter of politics as well. I did write an article about climate change in a medium.com.
Cool.
So basically, uh, yeah, global warming, climate change, fossil fuel. Uh, as a scientist myself, I say this, okay? There's nothing to worry about it, okay? Because 100 million years ago,
Yeah,
when there were dinosaurs,
there's a time of hotter of higher temperatures throughout the world. I know about
yeah.
that. Right. Okay. So it's not yeah.
So
So global warming, right? We've already had periods of global warming and different temperatures of the Earth. Right.
yeah,
Ice age, right? Cold, hot. Okay.
so 100 million years ago,
Yes.
where there were dinosaurs,
Mm-hmm.
okay? Up in Anwa, northern Alaska, there used to be 100 million years ago what's called Arctic forest. The
Yeah.
Wikipedia article about Arctic forest, okay? In Alaska, northern Alaska, there used to be dinosaur,
Yeah.
okay, mammoth, and there were big trees.
Yeah.
And in Fairbanks, Alaska, there's this Museum of the North. They have this fossil dinosaur fossil, okay?
Okay.
And because 100 million years ago, it was very warm. And after that, yeah, climate change happened. So all the dinosaur big trees, they got buried, they died 6 feet under the ground, and they become fossil fuel. Oil and gas in Alaska, okay? They came
Yeah.
from dinosaur and all the trees.
I'm gonna fill up my motorcycle
So
with some dinosaurs. Hell yeah. Dinosaur power. I got it. Hey man, that's cool, right? Some people are on horsepower. I'm on dinosaur power, baby. I'm with you.
yeah, so fossil fuel is
Okay.
renewable energy
Renewable?
because
Because
yeah,
okay.
it's carbon cycle in science, carbon cycle. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, plants, animals, they die, they get buried, they become fossil fuel. Okay.
Right.
And a car, gasoline powered car is like an animal. They
Mm-hmm.
eat fossil fuel and they get out the carbon dioxide, just like you and me, animal. Okay.
Yeah.
It's carbon cycle. We eat carbs, we eat carbohydrate,
Right.
and then we go to bathroom.
Right.
We exhale carbon dioxide. Okay, so there's nothing wrong with it.
Right, but isn't it right? But the thing is that most of our organic, right, carbon chains sometimes are only like so long and stuff. But the thing is that the oils and stuff, there's a refinery process that really breaks down the oils, right, to different components. So sometimes the petroleum, right, is just a way to get that like cheaper, easier in some ways, like some base raw components. So some of the organic stuff can be converted, right? We're making power from like organic oils and stuff. So that's not technically a fossil fuel though, right? Because that's, I mean, you could say, right, since it's organic, but it hasn't fossilized and turned into a rock petrification process. So that's, I guess that's dicing, right? I guess you're saying from, since oil is from an organic background originally, right? We can process the chemicals still, right? The carbon chains, which is technically true, and they are already doing that to an extent, right? Corn oil, right? They're doing a lot of vegetable oil. They use that to fuel cars and stuff. Yeah. So, okay. Do I understand what your plan correctly?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Okay. So last question I'm gonna ask, right? Well, actually, just uh, actually, I about like two, three more questions. That's it, right? Yeah. So this question right here is almost the end right here. So, look, one of the things that really, for me personally, this is my issue right here is anti-corruption. Now the thing is that there's a lot of people out here, right, that say they think that the system's broken. They think that the corruption is an issue, right? But then when I ask them, right, I want to know if they're a fighter. Can you point out anywhere in your particular, a knowledge of government or local systems, right? Where is corruption going on? Are you willing to call it out right now, right? I mean, you could say point at like the national figures and stuff, but right, are you really into fighting that, or is that just something you saw on the news, right? Can you actually call out corruption right now? Get him, Huhnkie.
Yeah, so yeah, corruption, yeah, it does happen in every level of
Hell
government,
yeah.
also every level of business too.
Shut it down, bro.
Business.
So point something out. Show us that you're a fighter. Show us that we can trust you, right? You got to
Yeah,
see corruption
so
somewhere. Pull the trigger, bro.
I mean, also in personal level,
Yeah.
some people cheat on their dates, their wives, their husbands.
Yeah.
Yeah, corruption is everywhere, right?
Yes.
So I don't think legislation is the right tool for that problem of corruption. I think a better tool, better methodology to fight corruption is spiritual,
Okay.
like ethics, religion, morality, okay? So like show by example, if I become US Senator, US President, I will tell people, hey, you don't have to cheat on your wife or steal money, government, corruption. I guess they do that stuff because they're bored. Okay. Look, you don't have to steal money from government or your wife, do kind of corruption. You do that because you are bored. Okay. Let me teach you how to be happy.
Sure.
Learn dancing, learn martial arts. I will teach you.
I'll say some videos. You'll see me dancing. I think you're gonna enjoy it, right? I do some dancing from the U.S. Capitol in Albany. You're gonna see some crazy stuff, man. I'm gonna send you some videos. Anyways, and if you watch my channel, you know I'm gonna send them. Yeah. Anyways, let's get to the last questions, right? First of all, look, thanks for hanging out on the show today, right? I want you to. Do you have like a website where people can check you out? You have an Instagram. I think you mentioned that earlier. Twitter, stuff like that. How can people find out about your campaign? What's going on, and follow you?
So I'm running this zero penny campaign, one man campaign. So I don't have much money to have my own campaign website, but if people can Google or Bing, Yahoo, whatever their favorite web search engine, Huhnkie, just my first name, because nobody on planet Earth have this name.
Yeah.
Huhnkie, Huhnkie, just Google, Yahoo, Bing, web search, then you will find all about me organically and naturally, because I don't want to advertise. I don't want to pretend myself to be somebody else. Just find me, Huhnkie, and I'm everywhere in the web,
Okay.
like social media. Yeah, just know about me as I am. I make mistakes.
I'm subscribed. So, last question is, okay, so now people know you. They've gotten to hear about some of your positions. You got any cool projects coming up, plans? What's up? Some people go on a tour around. Some people, like, you got an event coming up. I don't know. What's up? What do you have to look forward to from Huhnkie Lee?
Yeah, hey, can I show you my campaign t-shirt?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Give me 1 second, okay?
Absolutely. We're about to see this, ladies and gentlemen. This is probably a premiere. I'm going to ask him if this is a exclusive. I'm out super early in the process. I believe the general's going down in November. So we're a little early, but that's why we get the exclusive right here, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it here first. The very first Huhnkie Lee election t-shirt. Here we go. Huhnkie Lee for Senate. There you go. Okay, cool, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna wear this afternoon in Alaska. We have this Iditarod.
Oh, I know that, the dog sled race. Cool, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna wear this afternoon and
Feeling it.
advertise my campaign, and I go to like trade show in May. I have a booth. I reserve a booth. It cost me like $500. Okay, so I'll be there in Kenai Peninsula, advertise my campaign, and I go to karaoke bar, dance club, and sing and dance,
All right.
announcing myself to be U.S. Senate candidate.
So if you're
yeah.
in Alaska, go to the club, go to the karaoke, go to the what was that? What was that event one more time? That Iditarod tonight, or what was that other event with the where you rented the table?
Trade show in
Which
May.
trade show? What
It's
trade
like
show? is that?
it's like sports trade show
Okay.
in Kenai Peninsula. So I have a booth reserved, and
Sure.
it cost me like $500.
I feel you.
So
So check out for that trade show, right? That's where you can
Yeah.
catch Matt. Thanks for checking out DGL7. Make sure you check out the Unified Platform for 22. We're getting third-party independence in the nation and trying to affect the process now. I'm tired of seeing, right, people, the duopoly say they can't do stuff. We're going to get it done. Thanks again, Huhnkie. God bless, all right?
God bless you. Thank you.
It's a dark day in our nation when high-level authorities will seek to use every method to silence dissent. The truth must be told.
And if you want the truth, you need to check out independent media producers just like myself, DJL7. You should subscribe and hit the bell icon to get notifications when I release a new video.
Truth of these
We are
words
on all
is
the major
beyond doubt.
platforms. That includes Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course YouTube. Unfortunately, we have definitely seen that these mainstream outlets will cave to corporate interests, so we encourage you to join our independently moderated communities of Reddit and Discord. We also encourage you to subscribe to us on BitChute and Dailymotion so you can see the content that YouTube doesn't want us to let you see. Hey, now it's time for the most important part of the video. That's right. It's time for us to tell you about the Taking Action Group. Do you need an activist? Or maybe there's no activists around willing to help you with your cause and you need to learn to become an activist. That's exactly why we're here. Every week we get up with people from across the nation, in fact even sometimes internationally, and we develop strategies and a game plan to address the issues that are affecting all of us. Every week myself from New York City and of course my co-host Lisa from Los Angeles provide a coast-to-coast perspective on what's going on in the country. If you want to donate to help out with expenses, travel, equipment, stuff like that, then I definitely appreciate it, and you can hit us off at Venmo or PayPal. Thanks a lot. Hey, by the way, we also have a merch store, so check it out. Oh my goodness, it seems like you've reached the end of the video, so make sure you check out some of our other videos, make sure you subscribe. This is your last chance to do so thanks a lot, and looking forward to seeing you on the next one. Hope you guys enjoyed. Please comment below if you have any questions or issues you'd like me to address. And if you're an activist, the time to make things happen is now.